Hello, Assalamu alaikum. How are you all? So, in today's discussion, I will discuss about the legal matters, not the legal matters. It will definitely social matters also because it will interpret the social disconvenience and the social problem right now. So, in today's discussion, I will discuss about the impact of the environmental law in Bangladesh. You know that environment is the holistic entity in the perspective of Bangladesh, and you know that Bangladesh is literally environmental free country, friendly country because in the previous time Bangladesh has published lots of laws, acts, bylaws, or even many kind of prospects for the developing procedure of the environment. So first of all, I have to mention how to mean by the environment. Environment is a whole procedure whether it will include the land, water, air, everything which is related and the part and parcel of the environmental mechanism and the environmental measurement. So from this perspective, I can say that Bangladesh is quite enough have taken the effective procedure over the environmental mechanism, environmental measures, and the environmental certainty. So why the environmental mechanism and the environmental implementation is important in a country like Bangladesh? So that I have already mentioned, Bangladesh has taken lots of effective issues and duties for developing the environmental procedure and the environmental mentality, but there is a very big vacuum. The vacuum is that we have no implementation of the environmental law. So whenever there is no option of implementing the environmental law or the environmental impact assessment in a certain specific moment, the question may arise: how will you deal with this environmental mechanism despite there are no specific procedure and specific structure to deal with this matter profoundly and promotely? So, in that perspective, Bangladesh has already taken lots of effective delusions in improving the environmental mechanism and the environmental sustainability. For example, in the year 2003, our former Prime Minister Begum Khaleda Jia has already taken the initiative to stop the polythene from the all spheres of our daily lifestyle. But after 23 years later, this is the time of 2026. Can you please mention a single specific organization who definitely deal with this matter to stop the polythene from our society? In marketplace, in school, in college, in universities, in every places there are using the polythene for the daily commodities and for the daily lifestyle. So how is it possible to implement the environmental mechanism in Bangladesh? On hand, our loss is that there are no possibility of using the polythene and the polythene related materials in reserving our daily necessities or the daily income. But on the other hand, what we are seeing that Bangladesh government has failed to take any kind of crystal clear and authentic mechanism in improving the environmental mechanism in Bangladesh. So in that perspective, we need the three dimension for the improving of the environmental mechanism. So in the procedure, I can say that why the environmental procedure should be implemented in our country. The first reason is that Bangladesh is a developing country. So whenever it is a developing country, it has lots of procedure of developing the all structures, the law structures, the implementation structures, the analyzing structures for improving the analytical structure or the implementation structure. Bangladesh should follow the international convention. So in that mechanism, I think that Bangladesh totally failed to implement the international convention in improving the environmental mechanism, more focusing on the land related activities, water related activities, or the air related activities. So how you will deal with this matter? This is the biggest question. The second reason is that within a very short time, within 20 years or within 30 years, Bangladesh will face lots of environmental mechanism because there are lots of issues. Our sea level is rising. There are lots of effect of the blue rays. Even our environmental surrounding, it is not in a very good procedure. So how is it possible to deal with this matter after 20 years later? The third reason is that in the legal mechanism, we used to say that we have laws, we have regulations, we have enough bylaws for improving the environmental related matter. But there is a very big but. The but is that who will build the kit? who will actually take the decisions in improving the environmental certainty, environmental effect, or the environmental sustainability in all structures or the procedure of our common development or the common procedure. So in that structure or in that ideology, we have totally failed to do the environmental implications throughout the different types of international environmental convention. So we can discuss about the environmental mechanism, how the environmental related laws improves our society in the present structures, also in the future structures. We have a very big loss. The loss name is Bangladesh Environment Conservation Act 1995, and 2 years later we have also made the new codification. The law's name is Bangladesh Environmental Rules 1997. So this is the two big laws of 1998. But this is the time of 2026. Throughout this time, we have made already 18 plus environmental related laws, which is effective, which is rational, which is updated. Even this laws has effective implementation mechanism. But can you please give me a certainty Bangladesh government is using following the environmental laws and the environmental convention which has been made for the development of the environment earlier? The answer is a very big no. For example, in the year 2008, we made laws. The law's name is Bangladesh Environmental Code 2000. So by following the Aarhus Convention or by following the Agenda 21, the main effect of the Agenda 21 is that environment has a effective certainty. So we, all the stakeholders, including the government, executive body, or the third party, we have to make a basic development over the environmental issues for the environmental certainty. But I think that within 10 years, from 2008 to 2010, there are no environmental code related activities. So in the year 2010, Bangladesh government again passed a very new law. The law's name is Bangladesh Environmental Code 2010. So there are lots of impossibilities and lots of limitations related to the environmental mechanism throughout the Bangladesh Environmental Code Act 2010. So after 2 years later, Bangladesh again made a law. The law's name is Bangladesh Bricklin Act 2013. In the year 2013 or 12, Bangladesh again made the new laws. The law's name is Bangladesh